To change your life, you need to look inside of you. Humans never had better and easier access to great information, yet it seems we are not moving forward that much. Certainly you are not moving forward much. Let's explore why it is so hard to take in quality feedback and improve. We are in a world where there are a lot of opinions. To some degree, this has always been the case. We all know from movies of the past, or maybe experience, that you had people meeting each other, talking behind the back of other people, gossiping around any type of news, no matter how small, and then weave a complete story based on a few fragments. A family didn't put out Christmas decoration. What is going on? Do they have trouble at home? Do they have trouble at work? Do they lack money? Do Linda and Tom have problems? The last time I saw them, they didn't look too good. Oh, you're right. Something is going on. Typical gossip, full of opinions. There were plenty of opinions in the past, full of conversations and whispering behind people's backs. These opinions did only arrive rarely to the people in question. Maybe somebody heard of something and then told that person, but normally they never get to hear it. Now, everything changed, or rather evolved, towards something much bigger. The main culprit is the internet and the various social media tools that allow people to connect with each other while also pushing out their opinion to every person they wish to. The internet allowed for opinions to not only explode in quantity, but also the way they can reach people changed dramatically. Millions of videos with opinions, millions of social media posts, millions of long and short form content, all of those have opinions and indirect feedback. Additionally, to the type of oftentimes low-weight, emotional fast food type feedback and opinions, there are also powerful and normally useful industries that spawned and helped a lot of people. The billions of dollars per year worth industry personal development produces millions of videos and posts, all with the idea of giving people feedback and opinions on a wide variety of topics, like how to look at life, how to frame your way of looking at any given situation, how to understand yourself, understand other people, paths to success, mindset improvements, and so much more. I call it feedback because while it is not direct feedback that you would receive from a coach or a friend or co-worker that knows you, it is still something you can take and adapt to your current situation. This is important because even if you could get direct feedback from friends and people around you, this would mean it is very good. On the other hand, you have high quality people, personal development coaches, or just successful people that are more and more coming into the online world, making their own podcasts, or at least giving a lot of interviews, writing books. So there's a massive amount of quality information that you can all gather and form towards your own situation. Let's take a step back. In the past, you had nowhere near the type of information and feedback on whatever you want to do. This seems like a great idea, a great development. Of course, there's a lot of bad feedback, bad opinions, but it isn't that big of a deal any longer because of the easy access to incredible people. Via their books, interviews, they might be hosting podcasts. You get access to, for example, the highest level of personal development coaches that get paid sometimes millions of dollars per year by the highest performers in the world, be it athletes, be it CEOs, managers, or founders. It would be on you to ignore that while listening to opinions from a friend or a coworker or somebody else. You have all of this, and then you think back to the past where kings and sons of the richest merchants and judges and blacksmiths will teach their children skills and mindset, while most other children and young adults never got any type of access to this level of information. The world has changed. You wouldn't be able to access that information as a normal person, but now you do, with nearly non-existing barriers. So the question really is, how is it possible that we are not exploding in the quality of people? Not only that, it feels like more people struggle now than in the past. Obviously, this is relative. People have it much better now than in the past, without questions, many areas, but a lot of people are lost and mentally unwell, which seems insane considering what type of information and people have access to. Right? How can this be with the access of this unbelievable library of information of the greatest people in the world? There are a variety of ways you can tackle this issue. In this video, I want to pull a specific thread. A thread that is probably very underrated or people have never thought about it before. Feedback and the absorption of good opinions only works when you have a base level of confidence and competence. I repeat, Feedback and the absorption of good opinions only works when you have a base level of confidence and competence. Your first reaction is probably to scoff at this. This sounds ridiculous. After all, it can be looked at in the form of simple math. If somebody is at a, let's say, 90% skill level or knowledge or understanding level and they receive high quality information, they might move to a 91%, 92%, or 93%. If, however, somebody is at a 0 or 1% and they receive the same quality of information, thinking about it somewhat logically, they should be jumping to a 50 or 60 or 70%, right? And if this was right, it would be truly incredible, truly transformative, but unfortunately it is wrong. People think this is true, which is why they think and hope to get this secret information, secret knowledge that will allow them to leap forward massively. But this is not how it works. The problem with the assumption is that it looks like everything is a simple, unconnected piece instead of a mass of various elements coming together. In reality, you should look at yourself and other people like an iceberg, full of opinions, of character, of experience, of beliefs, and more. Some of it is visible, you can interact with it. Most of it is hidden under the water. This is what I really want to hone in and talk about now. Not understanding this is a key issue to why we have problems taking in feedback. A lot of the times, it is the people that are suffering, that are struggling, that get a variety of opinions from quality people, and unfortunately, they just cannot process it. They can't even think whether it is good or not. There might be quality opinions coming your way, but if you are not in the mental capacity to accept it, to work with it, if you feel like this is not something that will work for you, if you believe you won't be able to change your life anyway, if you have the confidence in doing anything, you will not be able to work with this no matter how much quality there objectively is in the opinion that you receive. Whereas other people that do have the confidence will work with it and might only get out a percentage or two, like we talked about before, of improvement. And yet the small jump is better for them than it is for you. People without confidence don't believe this will work for them, and so opinions, even good ones, will hit a mental shield. The lower the confidence in comparison to the level of the problem and the feedback, the stronger the shield. This works for all people, not just the people at the very bottom. You might have confidence, but if the situation is difficult enough, then your base confidence is not enough for it, and you basically struggle with the same issue. For example, so you can be confident generally, but if you have to go speak before a crowd, suddenly you will have the same issues as other people at a lower level. People are rarely completely hopeless. For the people on the bottom, the only feedback or opinion that would work is some way of getting money, for example, into their hands. Getting money without doing something, getting an inheritance, playing lottery to win millions. And you can see how it is true what I have said before, because for this they have the base level of confidence, so they can work with it. This means if somebody gave them an opinion on how to get an inheritance, how to approach it, or what to do with it, or how to improve playing lottery, they would be receptive to it. Okay, the people that can't take any opinions, if they were interested in the lottery, they would take ideas on how to improve, what to consider, because this is their level. This is a really big deal, despite what you might think, because even now you might look more at the actions that will help instead of working on the complete picture, on the iceberg. You underestimate the idea of becoming the person who can achieve these things first. You underestimate the power of confidence and what it is based upon. But you shouldn't. Don't underestimate the necessity of working on the complete picture on the iceberg. Here's an example. You might find it shallow at first, but there are important lessons here. Imagine you find a bottle, then you rub it, because why not? And a djinn comes out and grants your wish. Great, after some thinking, you wish to have the most beautiful woman in the world fall in love with you, be together with you. This sounds like a dream for many men. The djinn snaps his fingers and your wish is granted. Here's where the concept of the iceberg, instead of thinking about life in unconnected moments and pieces, comes into play. What happens when your dream comes true without any actions and improvements you did on yourself? You get the girl, and then what happens next? You will enjoy the next days and weeks. But you will also start getting more self-conscious. You see how people look at you and you realize they're not completely wrong with their assumptions. You don't dress well, you're overweight. You didn't take care of your hygiene. This was true before, but now it is hitting you in your face on a daily basis, probably on an hourly basis. Your mind starts to wander. looking at yourself and at her. You start thinking she might be cheating on you. You see how other men look at her, smile at her, try to talk to her. You look at yourself and think she's probably unhappy. You will see all of this, and slowly but surely you become resentful, paranoid, and maybe even angrier than you ever have been before. You will develop so many negative traits while also feeling worse and worse and worse because you have all these ideas in your mind. Eventually, you might even realize you are much worse off now with the wish fulfilled than you were before. Now, is this true for every man in the world? Of course it's not. There are confident, successful men that do have incredibly good-looking women, and they are not jealous, they are confident, and it all works out. So this is not a general situation. This depends on certain elements. And in this case, this person thought one moment, one win is all it needs, instead of understanding that it is the whole picture that matters. Becoming the person that is able to get the girl, that is the real dream. Changing your iceberg into the type of iceberg that has the foundations, that has the pieces for you to become somebody who has the ability to get the girl without any gin or wishes. This is what matters. Coming back to the issues with feedback, this story illustrates the problem. There are quality information out there that can change your life in theory. In practice, pieces don't work if you don't understand the whole thing, if the whole doesn't work in your favor. There are great information out there, information that you also know how to get easily because it doesn't take much to Google the best people in the field or skill you're interested in. You get a name, look for books, YouTube channels, and interviews of those people. It can be that simple. What you don't understand is that you will only be able to use those opinions and feedbacks if you transform your iceberg. There are many reasons for this. For instance, if you have the confidence to absorb feedback, you can try it out. You take the information and try it. See how it goes. Maybe it works, maybe you see some improvements, then you continue doing it. Or maybe it doesn't work and then you stop and try something else. Can you try something if you don't have any confidence? In theory, but the normal answer is no, you will push it away. You will think, I tried later. You will think about all the bad things that can happen. You will overthink everything. You can't work through opinions and ideas if you don't have a base level of confidence. If all of this so far makes sense, then we can now think about changing the situation. It won't be easy to do, but I believe there is a lot that you can tackle. And it won't be that complicated, especially because you are now starting to see what really matters and what will not work. This might potentially be the difference maker between you going someplace good or someplace bad. So if you lack the base level of confidence, what is the first step? The first step in all of this is creating confidence. While this sounds potentially overwhelming and you might listen to it and be afraid, it is not, because in your imagination, what you see is the final product. It is the product that you might arrive to in 5 years and 10 years. But this is not the goal right now. It will come over time, but I made sure to always say base level of confidence and not, for example, confidence mastery. I never talked about master the area of confidence. You need to go from 0 to a base level, depending on what it is that you want to do. What helps is to take a step back and think about what you're lacking. What is your core issue? For many people, if I have to give general observations, the number one is probably losing weight, go to the gym, get a better body, and dress well. Which doesn't mean designer suits and $50,000 watches. Because it is based on your own taste, on what you need, you must like what you see in the mirror, and if you do, your confidence will grow. A simple good-looking shirt with a trained body or a slim body might already do the trick. You might not have an issue with your body, but with your mind. A lack of belief in yourself. A crucial book or a conversation with a coach or going deeper with a therapist might be the path for you. You might lack a critical foundational skill that drains your confidence. For example, you might rarely talk, which turns to you having difficulties communicating with people. Anytime you try to talk with somebody, you stammer or don't know what to say, so it becomes awkward quite quickly. This means you should practice speaking. You should practice communication. Once a day, sit down, get an article, read it out loud. And then maybe for 5 minutes, 10, 15, 30 minutes, you just take a recording and then you speak about any kind of topic. Slowly but surely, you will improve. Take note of your progress, do this every single day until you suddenly realize how far you have come, and then you're going to feel more confident. Maybe this is the level of confidence that will allow you to now take in feedback, take in opinions that matter. And suddenly, you will be slowly but surely accelerating towards a very powerful place where you couldn't even believe you would be in. So the message is to understand your issue and the general problem why you can't seem to move forward even with all the great information. You might have a lack of base confidence. Tackling your core issue might change that. Lastly, so this is very important, all of this is a long game. You might not be satisfied with my advice on what to do because you want a quick solution that will help you transform in a month or two. This will help you transform, but it is a path you will need to walk on for a very long time. I can just say it is worth it if you commit to it.